All right, Jesse. So you're going to
Okay,
share
so
amazing things with us today.
hi everyone. Okay. So I just wanted to share some online resources that I've discovered in the past few weeks since I started teaching online. So I'm going to share my screen first. Um, can you see my screen, Jobe?
Yes, I can. Yes,
This
I
is
can.
being recorded. Okay, so my first main one that I really like to use is like Google Drive for
Mm-hmm.
collaboration with students. So, for example, you can do Google Slides or like an Excel sheet or Microsoft Word. And what
Yeah.
I like to do is I would create things. So, for example, when I taught this course for brainstorming, I had all these different Venn diagrams for students to fill out, and then I would have their name on it. And so nobody, like not every student has a Gmail account. So all you can do is share the link and allow it to edit. Should I show this on here as well? Maybe they can see. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Sure. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when you click share, you can copy and make sure you change the setting to can edit. Because if you don't, then the students can only view it or comment, depending which one you pick. And then once you share the link to your learning management system or you have it for somebody, they can just go on that link and then they can collaborate. And I like to put their names so that, it's easier to know who is writing on what page, because
Okay.
this is not specific to their Google account if they don't have one. So that's why I did this, to make it easier. That's what I like to use here. And then if you want to create quizzes, I really like using Google Forms, because again, you can make the question. So when I did like a reading and vocabulary assessment, I copied and pasted whatever source it was from. And then I just made sure to star required question, what is your full name? So I can know exactly who's responding. And then everybody can do this quiz if you give them the link.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great because from the teacher's perspective, you can see all the students that did the quiz, and then you can download each individual answer to help grade. Or you can do automated like marking if it's just simple like vocabulary quizzes, things like that. But for me, it was different because it was reading comprehension and they had to learn how to paraphrase. So I had to check like on my own. So this one was really great to use.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I don't know if you guys know this. So when you're on the teacher's end or the main source, you can change to say not accepting responses. So
Yeah.
when you do that, like for me, I gave them a 2-hour limit. So I
Mm-hmm.
would turn this on when I designated the time for their test. And then once it was over, I turned it off so that they can't submit it at all anymore. And it's really good to use this to hide the quiz if you have it ready,
Mm-hmm.
like a day before and you don't want them to see the questions right away. So I would turn it off and then I turn it back on. Originally, there's a function here that I added that you can add this timing on it, but it doesn't work because they said that it can be plus or minus 30 minutes. So I found that this was the most effective way to do it. And that's what I use. And then I was telling you about this website. It's called flippity.net. And on here is really great because somebody or whoever did is they created all these activities that are already pre-made for you. So all you need to do is, if you want to learn how to do it. So for example, let's pick like, I don't know, this Flippity quiz show. If you click on the demo, it shows you what it looks like. So this is like a Jeopardy situation. So you can click on this and it'll be a question and then you can give teams who got it correct or not. And then the points will add up. So this website's really great because it gives you the demo and then it gives you step-by-step instructions on how to change to the questions that you want to use for your class. And then you can share the link like normal. And then there's like a template there. So here's like a whole bunch of activities that you can use. Here's also really great because if you want to create bingo worksheets or vocabulary, you want to do like a matching game or some Mad Libs, this is what you can use. So that's the one that I use. And then what else did I say? So last
Um,
time?
you said there was the wall where they could post messages.
Oh yes. So this is called Padlet. I have because I work for Centennial College, I have the college account, which is a different link. But all you need to do when you Google is just Google Padlet, and you can create a free one. So the free one has less options as the premium license, which I don't know how much it is, but there's still quite a basic one. So when you make a Padlet, it's quite nice. So you can select anything. So if I select like a wall, for example, so you allow the permission. Oh, it's already allowed. Okay. So on here is where you can, change your settings, what title you want. With eyes on the prize. Started reading. So here's where I like to do like some kind of guided question if it's like brainstorming. So I don't know if you want to use something like if like the last lesson I taught was about inspirational people. So I put like, who is someone that you admire and why? So it's really great here. And then you can change your wallpaper because I really don't like the look of this. I'm going to pick something, I don't know. There's textures, maybe. Yeah, I'll pick something like, okay, let's do like a nice, pretty cheers to the new year. And then once you're done, you can start posting. So what happens is all you need to do is share the link. There's a share button, and then the student will see this. And what they can do is they have to press the plus button, and then this is where they can answer the question. So if they don't have an account, I always make them in the title write their name so that you know who answered. So like if I say Jessie, and then they can write your answer here, whatever. And it's great with this because they can upload things. They can link it to, let's say there's a YouTube video that they want to use in their response to help. You can use Google to search for things. You can take a picture of yourself if you want to add. And then, so you see here, there's like all these options that you can do to make your post, more interesting and other students can see. And it's great because once you're done, you see how I can move it. Well, once it's finished, I can move this anywhere on the board. So it kind of just looks like a huge, board with everybody's ideas there.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's great too because you can also comment on it too.
Oh, yeah.
So this is like a great way to use as like a discussion board or something.
Okay.
I'm just going to delete that. So that is Padlet, Padlet.
Right.
And then the other one that I use as a free resource is called Flipgrid.
Okay.
So I'm going to show you an example. So this is something I created for my students, which was a reflection assignment. So when you set this up, you just need to set a password and everything. So this is what I gave my students. So you would see something like this. But make sure, in order for your students to use this, they need a Microsoft account, so a Hotmail or Outlook or something, or a Google account. If they don't have those two, they cannot access this. So it's really great because you can, change your pictures. These are the questions that I had ready for them. You can add like, GIFs or GIFs, whoever calls them. And then you can add like, images to make it all like fancy. And then here is just an example where all my students posted their responses. And it's great. I'll show you an example. So the student, how they record, you can demonstrate to them is they have to click the plus sign. And this is where you have to log in. But I'm already logged into my Google, so I think it'll just automatically sign me in there maybe. Yeah. So when you're on here, it's great because there's filters that students can use, or if they're not comfortable, they can make it pixelated so you can't see your face. Another option is there's like texts. So if I type something and I'd be like, oops, does this not work? Maybe it's not working. Oh no, here. So if I want to be like, hello, then I can move this. Yeah. So you can move it, you can make it bigger, smaller, whatever you want. You can add emojis on there, and then you can like make your slide more interesting, anything. There's a lot of options here that you can play with. Some of my students don't want to show their face, so instead they used like a board and then they like made it like a different color, or they just kept it white and then they spoke instead. So it's really good because it just depends on what your students are comfortable with. And then after you're done recording, they just have to click something like next and submit. And then once it's submit, then you can go back and you can, listen to all their recordings. And also you can add a rubric on this. I don't remember how, but it's in the instructions. This is pretty user friendly. So if you read through everything, you should be able to do all of that. I just like pen and paper, so I just mark them on a piece of paper and then give them feedback that way. But it's up to you how you want to do it. And did I mention? Oh, the other one that I mentioned, the free version of this is more limited, but if you find that it's a good investment to pay for, it has a lot more options. So what I also really like to do is using Nearpod, just because Nearpod, you can make it synchronous teaching or asynchronous teaching. So I have the licensed version, so you're going to see there's more than, I don't know what the free version offers, but free offers like 3 or 4 of the things that you can see here. So when you make like a lesson, it's really great because you can pick live lesson. So with the live lessons, your student just has to go on the website or the application, depending if they're using their phone, and then they type in a code. And then, so when you move your slides, it's synchronous on the student's phone or device. So it's really great. Or you can just assign this as homework and then they can do student paced. But what's really great about this is when you create, actually I'll just create one to show you. When you create your own lesson in Nearpod, which I recommend doing instead of uploading a Google Slides, because in this you can make it more interactive. So when you add a slide here, so you see there's so many different contents you can add, just a slide to whatever they have. You can make you can look for vocabulary video. It's really interactive vocabulary if any of the material there works for you. What I thought was interesting was the field trip aspect. So you can actually make them see things. So when I was doing it, I think they had a lot of places in Toronto. And it was like 3D virtual reality. You can show them like, oh, this is where I live, or like, here's this famous neighborhood that's in my city, So it's really great if you're using it to show your students. And there's like a lot of options here. But what I really like is the add activity aspect. So on here, there's a lot of like activity and games that you can have your students play. So Time to Climb is a really fun game where you have multiple choice questions and everybody gets on to race to the top. So if they answer a question wrong, they fall down the mountain. Okay, so then and everyone can see on your screen where everyone's at. So it's really funny. It comes out as all these cute little cartoon characters, and you see them moving up, and you see people falling. My students really enjoyed that when I played that with them. And then open-ended question is really great because you can ask, like a warm-up question, like using Padlet that we showed before, and they can answer typing or they can record their voice and submit that. So this is really a great way to make sure your students are paying attention, they're engaged, because if they're not, they're not answering. Yeah. And then there's like matching games, quiz, so you can play with all of these. I also really enjoy like the collaborate board because it looks like Padlet and everybody can answer and comment. They can draw if you want to do like Pictionary, whatever you want them to do. So this is Nearpod. I can show again. Hold on.
Yeah.
Just maybe Google Drive.
Because that was interesting. I never used Google Slides like that before.
So let me find one of my old lessons on here. Well, let's just do this one because, oh wait, no, this was the brainstorming one. Hold on. Maybe, let me see. Oops. I use So I think it was comparative paragraph. Yeah, here. So what I did to make sure to check the students do their homework, just because normally in a regular classroom, you just take a look at their notebooks. But now that's transitioned to online, I can't check that. So I make sure they have to type their paragraphs or homework on here. So here, for example, I wrote their name. As you see, the student did not do the homework on here. But normally, if they do their homework, for example, like Samira, she did, and then I would read it, and then I would correct directly on here. Just because I made this Google document, you can edit, so anybody can go on here. And then once I have that, the student can always go back to this link to see the feedback that you gave them. And I just used a different color so that they could see. Sometimes you have no space on the slide, so I use as a comment. So for example, as you see, this student named Onor, on here, you can add comments. So the student, click show more, they can see like where it kind of went wrong. And then I highlighted the comments. So all the ones that's highlighted yellow on the side is where they have their issues. And then that way they get feedback, and then they can also email you if they don't understand something. Also, another thing that I found was really useful, instead of using this as feedback, because you want to try to make it more universal and accessible to everybody, and some people find it hard to focus while reading, is I did a voice recording of my edits. So I would follow along. So like, for example, here I'd be like, okay, so your topic sentence is really great here, but you see me highlighting this word. The reason why this is not great is because it sounds strange, or for example. So I recorded myself as I went along with each, so they could see a video of me highlighting things and explaining in real time, kind of. And that was really helpful for students because some people process better by listening. So it feels like a real class, even though it's just yeah, I think that's all, no?
And you showed me another thing resource where you recorded pronunciation for them.
Oh, it was on Nearpod.
Okay.
Oh wait, there's one more that you can also use. So there's just a lot of resources out there. Can you actually see my settings at the top that has mute, stop video?
No, I can't.
Okay, perfect. So you can see the link. So when you use Nearpod, when you use the slide, there's a function that you can click audio. So you just record yourself. So what I did was, if I did things like pronunciation, I recorded my voice, and the student had to identify the sound that they heard depending on what you're teaching. And then I just showed the answers on the next slide. But for vocabulary review, I recommend Quizlet. Let me show you an example, if I can remember my passwords. I don't remember this. It's been like 2 weeks, but my memory, oh wait, no, I do remember, great. So here is like an example of vocabulary that I created based on their curriculum. So whatever you want to teach, and it's really great because you can create flashcards for them to self-study on their own, at home, after you've taught the vocabulary. I don't know why. It might just be my internet again, but what's great about this is it's flashcards that they can flip it so they can see the vocabulary and the definition. And then I recorded my voice pronouncing the vocabulary so that they can hear it and try to, learn how to pronounce certain words or just hear my accent. But after I did that, I realized they automatically do it on here, so you don't need to record your voice. But I did it just for giggles. And I had my students, they laughed. They're like, "Is that your voice, teacher?" And I'm like, "Yes, it is." I didn't realize that they have an automated voice already on there, so it will read off whatever you type. So you don't have to record yourself, but I already went through all that trouble, so I submitted that for them.
Right.
But it's really great. My computer's not working, but you see on the side, there's different ways to study. So they can click on all of these and review. And if you really want to record their progress, like track it, you have to add them to a class that's on here. So I think you need their like emails and things like that. I didn't bother with it because I just used it as a guide for them to review for tests and things like that. And it's great because here you can make it play, so you do like a matching game. I don't remember what Gravity is, but if you click, you can play with it, and you can also make it live. So kind of like how Kahoot does it.
Yeah.
You can put it in teams, and they have to race to answer all of that. So this is a really good guide. And Kahoot is good too. I don't know if everybody knows about that. Kahoot is really good right now because of COVID. It's free, the licensed version.
Yeah.
Without the licensed version, you can only create multiple choice answers.
Right.
But with the licensed version, you can do a whole lot more. So when you're on here, and let's say you want to create a quiz, there's templates already for you. If you like want to use these ideas, it's also great because you can also use polls to spark discussions. But you can use polls with many resources as well. There's a lot out there. But when you create Kahoot, it's really nice, as you can see here. When you add the question, these are all the different types you have possible on the premium license. So if this is something that you're looking at the long-term thing, that if you keep teaching, I would probably invest in it, money in it, but that's only if it's something you want to do more permanently. But right now, I would suggest any teacher to just sign up for it because it's free right now because of COVID. So make use of all the free resources because everything I'm using right now is because of COVID. It's free. And you can try everything out to see what's worth paying for, right? But this is great. There's quizzes, true or false, open-ended questions, so they have to type the correct answer. You can do puzzles. This is like a sorting, put like sentence in order, for example. Or so you can make it a spelling, so you use certain letters and then they have to put it in order. And the poll is great for their opinion. And the word cloud is really nice too. So there's like, what words come to mind when you think of, I don't know, when you think of school, if your topic's about school, and then everybody can put their answer. Sleeping in class, right? That's what it is. And then on there you can add, and then this is great too for slide, because this is to clarify. Let's say you made a question difficult to see if people knew, and everyone's like, I don't know why this is wrong. You can add more context or additional explanation to it so that they can see, and you're like, this is why that, or most people get confused with this, so this is like how you can do it. So this is a really great resource. If you want to do more academic English, actually, Newsela. I really enjoyed using this because this is authentic articles for distance learning. So you can, if you can add students on here, you can assign them. Or what I did was I just made a PDF version of it. And then shared the article, and I created reading comprehension questions for it. But let me show you how it looks. I forgot about this because I really enjoyed this for academic reading, getting them. Maybe I don't remember my password.
Oh my God.
Nope, I don't. Oh wait, maybe it's not this. Maybe it's my Google. Yeah, I signed up with Google. Okay. I'm just going to go in here because I can't remember. I think I signed up with Google. Yes, I did.
Yes.
So it's really great here because you can sync this to your Google Classroom. I don't know how it does it, but I know it's possible. And then, so it's really great because this takes like the latest news. And it's great because you can do it by subject. So I usually use more like, if you want to do sciencey articles or social studies, because this is for regular school, right? And then you have daily lessons. Depending on the level of your ESL students, I sometimes use like elementary daily lessons for more beginners. The middle school, if they're more like intermediate or high intermediate, even sometimes the middle school is a little hard for them. in that level, just because of the language that's used in there. And then high school, obviously, for more advanced students who want practice. And even that is a really hard one, because I did like a high advanced class, and I put high school article, and they were having trouble understanding a lot. But it was really great practice, because when they go to college or university, they need to be able to understand. And then it's great because each article, like if I click something like here, at the top, do you know what these mean?
No, I don't.
So these are based on the level of reading, and there's like a code system for, by grade 3, you should know these many words. So it tells you like the level, and then you can make it simpler, the same article. So if you really like the idea of this, but if you find it's too difficult for your level, you can change it. And this is where you can create an assignment, and then students can sign in and complete, which is really easy also. But a lot of the times, my students don't have digital literacy skills. So to sign up for an account is too difficult for them. So I just use it, like you can save it as a PDF file, and then I create my own questions for them to do based on what I want. I know I spend a lot extra time, but there's also questions here that are already created that you could use to help save time. But yeah, but it also depends, on your curriculum, your course goal, like outline what your goals are, outcomes for your students. For me, it was always different, so I would always adjust it accordingly. And I would give this for homework, and it was really great. This is really good. Also, resource that I've used. I've used a lot more, but I can't remember at the moment. Which one? Also, I signed up for like so many things, so many websites. I have a lot of things in my email. That's not good. Oh, and one more actually.
Okay.
Now that it's Mindmeister, something like that.
Oh yeah.
Have you used this?
I've used this.
Do you like it?
I like it. I use it personally for
just for your own.
my to-do list.
Well, this I used it in a classroom before. Did I use Google account? I don't remember. That's what I mean. It's like, did I use with my Google, or did I sign up with my Centennial email?
Yeah. I guess this is new.
Probably.
This is a new account.
Yeah, I don't remember. Oh, okay. So you can use as education purpose here.
Okay.
I'm just going to show you, even though, and it's really great. I don't need to get started. So you can create like a topic, right? Like education.
Yeah.
And then you share like a link, and then all your students can collaborate in real time.
Oh,
so they can add, so it looks like a mind map kind of situation. I don't remember how to share it, but it's available here somewhere.
Okay.
I can't remember. And you can do like a huge collaboration situation. All you need is like the link or a code for your students to enter into it, and everybody can do. So it's really great for brainstorming, depending on what your ideas are, and you can add, you can change colors, and then it becomes this huge mind mapping situation. The only thing is, once it's done, for the free version, you can't download it, but you can share the link so everybody can see it. And I think they limit like two free ones per use or per link. But it's okay. I think when I did it, you only need mind mapping for one idea, so it was perfect. But if you need it for like multiple, you have to create multiple links. So that can be a little annoying if you don't want to pay for the upgraded version. But this was really great. I think that's all that I can think of on the top of my head.
Thank you, Jessie. You have a wealth of information. And on that note, we'll welcome you back the next time to do an activities. Because you have a lot of good activities done. I think you have a lot of good activities. But yeah. Thanks a lot, Jessie.